Today we're going to continue our adventure with Mouse and Mole, and we're going to continue it by reading the second chapter of Upstairs Mouse, Downstairs Mole. Now, the week before we went on spring break, we read the first chapter, so now we're going to read the second, and we're going to kind of focus on the same things, like learning more about our characters. So we're going to answer some questions along the way, so we notice all we can about the characters in our story, Mouse and Mole. Let's see what kind of adventure they go on today. The invitations. Mouse found an invitation in her mailbox. It was from her neighbor, Mole. Dear Mouse, if you're not too busy, please come join me for lunch to celebrate our new garden. Your neighbor, downstairs, Mole. Around noon, there came a tap, tap, tap at Mole's door. Glad you could make it, said Mole. Please come in. Mouse had picked dandelions for the occasion. For you, she said, until our flowers come up. Mouse looked around the room. My, but you keep a nice tidy hole, she squeaked. Thank you, said Mole. They seem like they are really great friends. It was a bit damp inside Mole's hole. Mouse shivered. Mole also kept his place rather dark, as bright lights hurt his eyes. Mouse bumped into the table as she sat down. Mole poured a cup of tea for Mouse and one for himself. I wasn't sure how you liked your worms, said Mole, so I prepared them 2 ways. The ones on the right are lightly fried, and the ones on the left have not been cooked. Dig in! Mouse took one of each to be polite. Let's stop here. What do you think might happen next? It says that Mouse took one of each to be polite. Think, what might happen next in the story? Maybe Mouse and Mole are going to eat now, right? Because Mouse and Mole both put some worms on their plate. And let's think, do we think Mouse is going to like the worms? Make a prediction. Give me a thumbs up if you think Mouse is going to like the worms. All right, let's find out. Mole filled his plate. He was starved. Mole crunched. Mole slurped. Mouse poked the worms on her plate. The one on the left wiggled and squirmed. Mouse's stomach began to wiggle and squirm. The one on the right looked greenish-gray. Mouse's face turned greenish-gray. So I'm wondering, why do we think Mouse is poking her worms and her face turned greenish-gray? Why do we think that's happening? Yes, I don't think Mouse likes the worms too much. I think she kind of feels a little sick, right? Yeah, so is this a problem in our story? Give me a thumbs up if you think this is one of the problems in the story. I agree. Let's keep reading to find out what happens. The damp air made her sneeze. Achoo! Goodness, Mouse, said Mole. You do not look well. I don't feel so good, moaned Mouse. Please excuse me, Mole, but I think I had better go upstairs and lie down. She bumped into the door on her way out. Oh no, I think Mouse is sick. That evening, Mole found an invitation in his mailbox. Dear Mole, I am feeling much better. Please join me for dinner at 6 o'clock to continue our garden celebration. Your neighbor, upstairs, Mouse. So what did Mouse do? What did Mouse just do? Yeah, she invited Mole to have dinner at her place. Why do we think that she invited Mole to her house to have dinner? Yeah, she's being a kind friend. I think she might feel a little bit bad that she got sick at his house, so now she wants to make it up to him. She is a really great friend. They're both really great friends. At 6 o'clock, there came a tap, tap, tap at Mouse's door. Right on time, said Mouse. Please come in. You are looking much better, said Mole. Thank you, said Mouse. The evening sun poured through the windows in Mouse's house. Mole covered his eyes. He walked smack into a wall. Oh no. Was Mole's house really bright? No, it was really dark, right? Moles don't like the bright light. Mole bumped into the table as he sat down. Bump! Mouse poured a cup of tea for Mole and one for herself. I was not sure which cheese you preferred, said Mouse, so I cut up 2 kinds. The one on the left is cheddar, and the one on the right is Limburger. Help yourself! To be polite, Mole took a thin slice of each. Mouse loaded her plate. She was famished. Mouse nibbled. Mouse gnawed. Oh no. I'm wondering what the trouble might be now. Give me a thumbs up if you think there might be another thing that goes wrong. I agree. Let's make a prediction. What do we think is going to happen? What might happen? All right, let's read to find out. Mole's head still ached from walking into the wall. He began to wobble in his seat. The bright light over the table hurt his eyes. The strong odor of Limburger made his stomach flip-flop. Plop! Mole toppled right off the chair. Oh no. I don't think Mole's feeling too well now. Mercy, Mole! Squeaked Mouse. Are you okay? Mole groaned. I feel a bit dizzy. Please excuse me, Mouse, but I think I had better go downstairs and rest. He bumped into the door on his way out. That's the end of chapter 2, friends. So give me a thumbs up. Were there some problems in this story? Give me a thumbs up if there were some problems. Yeah, there was a problem in this story. And did they solve those problems? They solved one of those problems, right? How did they solve their first problem? The first problem was that Mouse felt sick at Mole's house. So how did they solve that problem? Yeah, Mouse went home. And then Mouse invited Mole to come back to her place for dinner. And the second problem was, that Mole felt sick at Mouse's house. Now, did they really solve that problem yet? No, I guess we'll have to read chapter 3 and find out how else they solved this problem of Mole feeling not so well at Mouse's house. All right, we will continue this later this week. So I hope you all had a really fun spring break, and we will continue this story a little bit later. Bye, friends.